My mate asked me, what do you define as codependency? And I just felt that let's do a video about it. And I like bringing both of our perspectives in, because I was playing the side in the codependence where wanting the other person to kind of lean on me and become dependent on me so that I felt empowered and loved, I guess. It was like an unconscious thing, but it was playing out rather than being more like interdependent and creating a really nourishing spacious relationship. For me, as a man in it, it was like I wanted space and independence, and it felt like that was my way to freedom. But I also desired deeply a relationship and nourishing intimacy and connection. And it just felt like an endless battle to try to find, like, to be in a relationship, but to also have space. And I think what came up for us, both having codependent previous relationships, or what we would define as codependency, like
which stems from relationships, but also from your way of being attached to people, from childhood, from all this kind of stuff. And I personally, my upbringing, I had a bit of an absent father, in a way of feeling rejected by him, but also a very intrusive mother. And that got me to develop this kind of a bit avoidant / a bit anxious, but mostly tending on to the anxious side of the attachment style, which then gets me to in a codependent setting, it gets me to grip into a relationship, to have all my needs met, and then my feelings and my sense of self are highly influenced by the relationship with my partner. And then when we were in the thick of it, it was hard to discern
and
what was I feeling for myself versus everything, my whole world, all of a sudden it's depending on this relationship. And Chris was pushing towards preserving freedom and independence.
And there was this like fierce independence around that, like from my masculine side. And, you know, we wanted some space, like sleep in different rooms.
Especially at the beginning of our relationship, when I said we really got into it, it's because we experienced different layers throughout probably a good couple of years, 2 to 3 years, to actually clear these things. I remember the first time that an opportunity came up for Chris to go overseas. I had convulsions in my body.
Go overseas on my own.
On his own. Just for like a few weeks or whatever.
Ski trip.
It was bringing up convulsions. I was literally, my nervous system was holding so much, and relationships are those places where we get to flash out these issues, because as long as I'm single and dictating my own rules, and it's hard for these things to come up. You gotta be willing to,
and it's easy to do the work when you're doing it on yourself on your own, but when you're
actually being hit by the freaking wave, I was like feeling all these feelings, and kept going to Chris, you still need to do what feels right for you, even if I have this.
And I was going, I can't do that if that's going to cause this trauma for you.
Exactly.
But that was me then. So then I would shift my position and not do it, and but little things, like not just the big trip, but they would then create, I'd be resentful because I would be like, well, I keep changing my things so that you don't go into like a trauma response.
And that's exactly the pattern that we were playing out. And then little by little, by playing it out many times. As many times as it took us.
Oh, it was intense. We kept looping and looping.
To actually
but we
stay
actually,
with it. Because
and
what was happening is like every time we were going through a layer, the nervous system was playing, and then something would just we would feel somewhat lighter. We got a bit of support, but also it was also going to those breaking points where we were ready to let go of the relationship, and then a bit of lightness, a bit of relief will come up, but also more lightness in the nervous system with regards to these codependent issues. And we started to become more accepting of it, and Chris as well, because there was this push, you know. I was feeling I was getting rejected, but Chris was rejecting the codependency. But I was taking it personally because that's a bloody pattern. And so the more we decided to be with it, the more we stopped making it wrong, and did a bit of work on ourselves separately, a bit of work together, a bit of, you know, the universe playing out in these beautiful ways of many times we walked into sessions going, this is the end, this is over, there's no turning point from here, this is way too messy, it's toxic, it's unhealthy, it's all consuming. The emotions were so intense that we could not function. It was really challenging. But somewhat through our relationship, we knew there was a strong healing that needed to happen, and we were committed to the healing in the first place. Leaving each other because at the peak of a trigger, or in order to avoid getting too much into trauma and stuff like that, it's not the solution. So we were committed to the healing, and I feel that has been a big help for us, because we were able, even if we were playing it out, even if we were completely immersed in the experience, we had that little light guiding us. And at times it felt completely impossible, completely unachievable, and we were exhausted.
I felt like it's like, how do relationships even work? Because like
how is that
our model, like
work?
my examples of relationship haven't been amazing in my around me, but like I literally felt like this people being together just doesn't make sense. Like it's just, like it's like literally like, you don't hear me, I don't hear you, you're not getting seen, I'm trying to do this but you still don't see it. My sense of love is creating a home for us and supporting us, but that's not good enough. And there was just this constant like just feeling like not good enough.
Codependence was what we were dealing with for like over 2 years. And as long as we were rejecting it in a way or another, it kept coming up.
It just kept coming up.
So at some point we kind of surrendered to it by committing to feel the feels. Feel the feels and don't worry about it's toxic. Like Chris at some point was saying, this relationship is traumatizing me. Like, I feel I'm getting traumatized by this.
I haven't had this before. I was like, this is like more intense than my marriage. I was getting like traumatized by the relationship, because we both knew that like we're being pulled together, like we're being magnetized together for a reason to heal this.
And so we're constantly exposed to fire and pressure, and by that I mean deep, big wound and very much blow-ups and intensity in the expression of emotions, and that created pressure on the relationship, on ourselves personally, on the dynamic, on our lives. But at some point something started to shift because we kept growing. The debris were still there, we were still kind of burning down the house, but every time there was then lightness, and it was like, it's like we've run a cycle. This is how it feels.
And I vividly remember,
and we were learning, we were actually growing through it. And for me that was massive, because I have been trying to heal this throughout all of my relationship, in all of my life. And this was the first time that I actually was feeling we were growing. We really were. And that became a really fuel.
Like one that really helped was taking responsibility for our own experiences. Like I remember vividly would have, it'd trigger stuff, and I want my thing, we'd have a fight, and then anger would come up, and then Rossana, you would say take some space for a day or two, and you'd come back and we'd be able to actually see our parts in it, because it takes both of it. If there's codependency or something in the relationship, it's not that one person's codependent and the other isn't. There's two poles there, and it's like I'm sitting in the pole of like, I need you to need me so that I feel worthy, and you're sitting in the pole of you need me because, and I'm creating that space, and you're then the anxious is like holding on and needing that, and they're feeding each other, and so they're less like big as they were
because
at the start.
There's less reactivity and there's more vulnerability.
Yeah.
In order for us to be vulnerable, the ego needs to give up the reasons why we're right. And the reasons why, but the problem is you.
Yeah.
And by doing that, the more we relinquished that, the more we became a team.
Yeah.
And it was like, actually, codependency is here, and it's not because you're fucked and I'm not, or whatever.
Yeah. It's
Actually,
like we
it's
both
our
want to
thing.
heal it. Yeah.
It's our thing.
So we're teaming up to heal.
Let's team up.
And the gift is us.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
the gift to each other to heal that.
Exactly. Because there's no... I was coming at this with so many reasons why the problem was Chris, and it was so eloquent, so it made so much sense. But the whole thing that it didn't make sense is that if the problem was just really only Chris, then why was I so triggered, and why was I still in it?
Yeah.
This is just a signal that you can't just offload it onto someone else.
Yeah. And in my story, I'm going, it's all her. And then I was doubting all the time, like doubting, is this relationship right? And what that did was then it triggered her anxious part.
More.
Yeah,
until we wake up to the truth that we had to let go of the ego.
Yeah.
Of what we thought
the need to be the need to be right,
fixing of the trying to find solutions of all the machinations of the mind around, and all the stories, and they were pretty damn good stories, like eloquent, conscious and aware, because at that stage we were already aware. What you would say, conscious people doing the conscious thing,
doing
the communication thingy, doing the spiritual practice. No, we were like teenagers
in relationship. We were
throwing skills at each other and going, I'm better than you because I'm using this practice thing, and you see, you are the one that's getting triggered. And I was like, no,
I'm holding space for you. What?
It was this whole, literally, two clumsy teenagers throwing pretty words at each other, just to prove how right we were. But the essence was we both had to lose. We both had to go, this is a losing game.
Do we want to be right, or do we want to be in relationship?
And it's hard to let go of that. Because my whole personality was based on that. When I met Chris, I was the conscious woman on the path. I was the one that has done shit tons of feeling work and is all in her feminine, all aligned, then I get into a relationship and I am regressed. But my ego thinks that no, I am actually all put together. And I wasn't. I had to just really take a good lesson of, the fire is mine. I was just literally going, the fire that Chris is put, that the projection he's giving me, the stories, that it's mine. It became a game of me, myself, and I at the beginning. And I started to see Chris as just this mirror, and I was like detaching from the story and the dynamic of he has done this and I have done that, he hasn't done this and I haven't done that. And it was like, this is mine, this is mine. I was able to create that little space that gave us perspective. And Chris was doing the same thing in his own way. And all of a sudden there was again space between us. And we were so tight space-wise and codependency and all the stuff that we were trying to flash out, that at some point we could not agree on,
anything.
this is a key.
Yeah.
No,
It's not a key.
It's not a key. It's something
Screw you.
else. We were just so tired that even objective reality
Yeah.
that's recordable on camera, we would disagree on that.
Yeah.
So we really had to go. We thought we were lost. We thought we just cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
It's just, we're done.
Yeah.
It's too toxic, it's too traumatic, it's too much. And then he was like, hang on a second. This is me in the universe playing with all the reflections of myself. So it's not about Chris, it's not about the codependency, it's not about the issues, it's about me. Oh, and then I started having the goosebumps and going, oh shit. Okay. And so every rant, every attack, every whatever became, this is me speaking to myself. And that was the only way we had to actually then start to unravel. And it unraveled then quite beautifully. But it took
Yeah, it was
time,
like
and it
just
took
little
grit.
bits of space, right?
Took
Like
endurance
it's almost like once
and
we
commitment.
Yeah, we cleared small amounts, you could feel a little bit of lightness come in, and then that kind of reinforced for us, like, oh, this actually, we're starting to
See some results.
her reaction was like the opposite to what I thought
Yeah.
the reaction would be, and I just felt this healing of my nervous system because
All
we've like
the things that
shifted
were
it.
just burning us are not really burning anymore. I don't feel that jealousy, that insecurity, that clinging, and it's so amazing. I thought I would never heal from that. I thought that was just me.
Yeah.
And no matter how conscious I became, it was still playing out.
Yeah.
And then through this process of not making it wrong and willing to get messy with it,
Yeah.
I started to change. And over 4 years, because that's how long we've been together, and it's been a progression.
Yeah.
Coming to this day where I actually do not have any bit of trigger inside of me when it comes to Chris making decisions for his own life. I actually can support that, but genuinely.
So now I've had trips on my own overseas. We've had I sleep in the other room when I need to, and there's not the trigger.
There's no trigger. There's no
And it
jealousy.
feels so spacious.
And I was like, wow, I used to be so livid about all of this, but I was just so happy.
Spacious, oh yeah.
I was just so happy, and it didn't even. It
Thanks
came
for
to
sharing
my
that.
mind.
Yeah, because see, that to me is healing.
It just came to my mind that wow, I used to be so.
Because we used to have blow-ups
freaking
about
jealous.
that.
All
And so,
the
like,
things.
hearing this even now live on the camera is like, oh, that's a healing point. Because,
It is.
and sometimes that's important, like, to recognize, like, actually sharing those wins within the
Claro.
relationship. So by sharing those wins, it allows for the other person to realize, oh, there's a rewiring that's happened here. I can't stop her from feeling a certain way. So
And
how
that
can I
was
become more
creating
okay with how she
a very
feels?
unsafe environment for me to
Yeah.
be able to express.
Exactly. You're like, I can't express. And I'm going, what do you mean? And like what I realize now is that, and this is the feeling work and stuff, is that as I realize that, oh, wow, actually, I need to learn how to set, kind but firm boundaries, and that she's not always going to be okay, and that lesson for me is going to help my whole life anyway. But also, if I can't be okay that she can't feel that way, then what's my view on that feeling? Because maybe I'm shutting that feeling off and I'm not willing to feel that way. And so I started to get all these gifts out of our relationship, and I would just add, like, seek support from where you can, like as a couple. Start reading some literature like Terry Reel's Us book, which is powerful. It helped us. And also remembering, if that person's not willing to do the work with you won't respect your boundaries, then it may need to end. Because I feel that there's a piece, what we had was that we both were willing to do the work, and there wasn't any malicious intent. Like, there was the desire to grow and the desire to see each other on the other side, the healthy piece within that is the willing to have the conversation.
Yeah.
The willing to like potentially come back to love. It's like if that person's not willing to do that, I think that's when it needs to end. Because actually one thing I just add is like sometimes with like our heart would open, we'd have like amazing connection, intimacy, and then a day or two later, boom, the polarity, like massive trigger at the same level as the love and connection.
So that's a really good one.
So that's actually a natural thing where almost like those like wounded parts freak out that the heart's open so much, we're in vulnerability, and then all of a sudden protects like, and so there's some of it's unconscious stuff, and if the unconscious stuff's ruling the game and the wise one's not, then I think the wise one needs to step up and go, let's commit to this and work together. And men need to make that call as much as women to work out relationally. And I feel that we've been able to get to the other side of some massive triggery stuff and actually the good stuff. And, you know, realizing that disharmony and repair is natural and it's not always going to be perfect. As men, like, we also come at it as a different way. A lot of us are just trying to, you know, we see an objective reality and then we're trying to make that the truth, but it's like, that's not the feminine way either. And, you know, whether it's a man or woman, masculine, feminine, we all have a mix of those different energies, but it's like the need to be right. Like there's different things that we need to drop in that. And the way we are as beings is different. So honoring the differences.
Yeah. And it's true, like as long as there's willingness to go through this dance, then you know, anything can be healed. I really believe that.
Yeah. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Put some comments around your own experiences in the comment section, and like hit subscribe and watch more videos as they come if you're enjoying it. So the Fox and the Rose, second video. See you soon.